Hello and welcome to Garblag Games. We're playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition and this is Flint Steel! Hello and welcome to the first episode of Season 3 of Flint & Steel. I'm Pete the Game Master, and in a moment we'll go round and everyone will tell you who they are and who they're playing. You may notice we have 2 new players if you are a previous viewer of Season 1 and 2. Hopefully you are. If not, go back and watch those first, then come back here. Anyway, before we begin, please don't forget to go and check out our social media links below. We've got Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We have a Discord with over 100 members discussing role-playing, map-making, games mastering and all kinds of things. So please come and join us. And we also have a Patreon. We have nearly 50 patrons supporting the channel now, helping us to get all the kit and equipment to make this the show that it is today. So thank you everyone who supports us. You are awesome. If you don't, please go and check it out. There's loads of free stuff. 10% of everything we raise through Patreon goes to Diabetes UK, so supporting us also helps a worthy cause. Also a little shout out for some friends of the channel. First off, there is the Thornless Rose, who creates wonderful leathery, lasery goods and LARPing gear. But also, sorry, I was blocking you doing that.
Completely.
D20 dice bags, which are very cool. Very
Yours
successful.
has exploded.
Yours does look a bit sad.
Hey, I'm just easy access. I'm not very good at sewing things. Anyway, it's very cool. We've got a video on me building my one, and there's a bit where I get it wrong, and then I get it right. So that was quite fun doing that.
It was a cool time lapse.
Yes, that was fun. There's a deal on Monday, if you're watching this afterwards, it was 19th. Yes, that's the one.
Happy birthday,
August 2019.
Yes. If you're watching it before that, or on that day, then you can probably get a deal at the website below. Also, a shout out to our good friends over at the Old World podcast. If you want to know more about Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, the game, the people who create it, and all the thinking that goes into it, then they're a good place to go. They get interviews with all the top people at Cubicle 7 and the artists as well to talk through how they've created this awesome game. We've also just recently given away a starter set to one of our viewers and subscribers. You like that?
You always forget someone.
I always forget someone.
A friend of the channel.
It's fine, I was getting to Mark.
I'll get round to. Don't worry.
Bluff.
Don't worry. Don't
Totally
worry.
forgot.
He's got a list.
I've added him at the bottom.
Twice.
I've added him at the bottom.
It's definitely been naughty.
I'll put him in here. Here we go. So, where was I?
Starter set.
Starter set. Yes, we just gave away a starter set on the channel on a live show, our last live show, and yeah, we've got a starter set there. The starter set I'm going to be using not the adventure book, but the very awesome guide to Ubersreik, which is full of locations and bad guys and good guys and secrets and mysteries of the city of Ubersreik. I'll be using that as the basis for some of Season 3, so you guys will be able to see some of that as we go along.
And there is an unboxing of the starter set, so check that out.
Yes, indeed. Also check out Bjørn Felle, or Mark, on the channel, who's on our Dark Heresy game, On the Edge of the Emperor's Light, and he will be starring in our Star Wars show, which starts next month, and that's called Fractured Empire, and I'm running that one as well. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. So without further ado, we shall begin with our new players on my left.
Good luck, Leon. Hello, I am John. I am a new player, and I am playing Segale of Bordeloo, who is a human knight from Bretonia.
I'm Leon, and I'm playing Corvin Afflebaum, who is a wizard of the Law of Light. Did I cover everything? I feel like you said more. You just got a longer name than me.
I think I've got a longer name than most people.
Corvin Afflebaum the Great.
Brilliant.
I'm Sam. I'll be reprising Morgan, and he is a priest of Moor.
Hi, I'm Roger. I'm playing Bagrik Rolfson. I am the dwarf guard.
Honor guard.
Sure.
Honor, Bagrik.
Oh, my main motivation is honour. Ah.
Cool.
I'm Lawrence. I'm playing Torvald Rolfson, and I'm the Dwarven Scout.
A ranger.
And they are brothers.
Twins.
Twins.
Not
Indeed.
identical.
Non-identical.
Twins.
So, we finished season 2 with Bagrik, Torvald, and Morgan having besieged Castle Pfeifraucher, which was being held by Lubin Sansevino, with your companions Alvin, Alvin, Gunther, Siegbert, and Hartwin, all of whom have gone separate ways. Hartwin is now looking after Alvin in the town of Armdorf as he fell in battle, taking down Lubin Sansevino. Spoilers if you haven't seen season 2. And he's also training up the local militia as they rebuild the town and start to learn to defend themselves properly and hunt the woods and all those kinds of things. Gunther and Siegbert came back with the three of you to Null, but have now headed off to the town of Schultz, which Siegbert is from, in order to continue your investigation into the 4 towns that are forming some sort of alliance in the southern Reikland to destabilise the northern area of Visenland, which is where you guys are from, in Nuln. You had laid Alvin low in the new Temple of Verena grounds in Armdorf, laid him with the sacred blade that you had found that was ruined but still intact, and a small clutch of villagers have started to form a little prayer circle, a little cult of Alvin around him.
Alvin the Great.
Alvin the Great. And you guys headed back to Null, where you found that your patron, Mr Tangemann, had actually left the city and travelled to Ubersreik, leaving the Sansevinos a good opportunity to strike back at you, destabilise the Marktplatz and the various... if you remember, there were some stalls and market traders that you'd worked with. There had been a kind of retribution act, and you guys are finding yourselves penniless. The bank refusing to give you any money, even though you deposited like
10 grand or something.
A shit ton of gold. And you have spent a few days in Nuln confused as to what's happening. And when you receive a message at the Six Arms, the recently renamed the Two Griffins.
Two Griffins.
After your battle outside the tavern where you dismembered so many people that there were 6 bloodied, dismembered arms lying on the doorstep of the tavern at the end of the evening. That was season 1. You returned there, you received a runner and a message to tell you that Mr Tangemann has died from the Falkenberg sisters, who, if you remember, helped you out in season 1. They're the Rolfsons, and you obviously, now realising where he's gone and where possibly your money is, and where your patron may be, and why would he travel there, you dwarves have convinced Morgan to go with you as your companion to Ubersreik to investigate what's going on. You know that your patron was dedicated to unravelling what was going on in this area, and it seems strange that he would leave if it wasn't for a very good reason. So Gunther and Siegbert decide to continue the investigation into the 4 towns by hitting Schultz first, and they travel with you for a short time. But you 3 make your way to Ubersreik. And our story begins as a raven is flying over the great city of Ubersreik. Down below, which you can see on my screen here, you can see a large city with a huge river running through the middle, the Teubrücke. This dark water flows steadily beneath a giant bridge, which was constructed by the dwarves a long time ago. In fact, there is a big dwarven population in Ubersreik. Nearly 1,000 Dawi live in their Dawi Haven, which is one section of the city. So there's a large contingent of dwarves, and you can see that the houses are jammed together, close knit, tight alleyways, and all along the river there are docks, people moving about, trade going on, and we follow a raven as it flies high above the city, and it swoops down. In the distance, you can see a kind of a palace at one end of the city, rising up. This is Black Rock, which is where traditionally the Jungfreund family ruled the city from. However, they have been deposed, but more on that later. The raven dives down, and you can hear the bustle of people beneath. There is the ring of blacksmith hammer on anvil, the shout of stevedore moving barrel from boat, and market traders plying their wares all up and down, kids selling clams and all that kind of stuff. And this raven swoops between the streets, and this clanging noise turns to the sound of blade on blade. And as the creature flies into an alleyway, it lands on a fence post and screams, "Caw!" and looks across as two figures, surrounded by 4 robed men, stand proudly and confused. Sir Gale,
Bonjour.
you have been escorting your wizard friend back
Monsieur.
from, in fact, you had travelled recently to the Grail Chapel, which is on the docks. You are heading back to the Falkenberg Forge, which has recently been set up, and you have experienced various accostings and brigands on the streets of this city. Altdorfers have taken over the city. The traditional rulers have been forced out, and there is a occupied feeling to the city currently. You have been working for Mr Tangemann, and because of this, 4 brigands have leapt from the darkness of the night to kill you. Roll initiative. So we roll 1 dice. Can I remember how we were doing it?
Bonus?
Yeah, roll 1 dice and add your agility.
What's the difference between I and int?
Oh, initiative. Sorry, it's your initiative.
Oh, it is initiative.
It is initiative, yes.
So do you add the...
We're going to get back into the rules with this, so...
Of course, me and Leon have never played this game before.
Sorry, 1 dice as in 1d100 or
1d10.
1d10 and add your initiative score.
Okay, 34, 35.
Okay.
More. 43.
What?
43.
We're adding our initiative.
Yes.
bonus,
Yep.
yes? Yeah. I've got 36 plus 7 is 43.
43.
Cool. And Leon, what did you call
35.
35. Okay. So, as you're walking through the streets, you hear these noises around you, and stepping out with kind of short, brutal-looking swords in their hands, maybe daggers hidden under their cloaks and their others. They step out, and one of them says to you, "Oh, you're that fucking Bretonian guy, aren't you? Yeah, this is it. This is them. Let's have them." And they come at you. So 4 guys attack you. 2 on each of you.
Oh dear.
So they get plus
Great
20.
start.
No, they're 2... Sorry, let me get this right. 2 of them are in close combat, and 2 of them are a bit further back. They seem to be looking out down the alleyway. So although they're moving towards you, they're not in combat with you this round. There's 1 on each of you this round.
Okay.
So the combat is an opposed roll.
Yeah.
So I roll to attack you. You roll to defend with your appropriate skill. That can be melee, basic if you're using a sword. It can be melee parry if you're using a shield, or whatever weapon you're using, or it can be dodge if you want.
I think you have to have a shield to defend with melee.
I've actually got a sword that has the defensive quality.
then
I have
think
a
that
quarter
allows
staff that has defensive.
Well, there you go. Perfect.
Nice.
Okay, so first off, I'm going to attack Sir Gale. So I'm going to roll, you roll.
Success
I'm
level.
gonna
You
see
tell
what
me how many
It gives
success
you
levels you
extra
get, and I'll tell you how many success levels I've got.
Well, I rolled a 28 and my skill is 62.
So 6 minus 2, 4.
It's 4 successes.
There you go. I got -1. So you won by 5.
Yep.
So you win that encounter and you get advantage. Excellent.
Nice.
The next bandit will attack Corvin. Here we go.
Ooh, sexy roll.
20. So,
And your melee skill.
basic. I've got pole arm. Sorry.
Melee polearm.
46. So 2
2.
successes.
I succeeded by 3. So I beat you by 1. Which means that I do you...
He does you.
8 points of damage.
Oh,
Minus your toughness.
I have a pencil.
minus my toughness bonus.
Yes, and any armour you're wearing.
So through no armor, wizards have no need of
Oh, I'm
Well-
dead. Oh, I'm dead.
armor. You did 8, sorry.
Yes.
Minus my toughness 3, so 5.
Wounds are on the second sheet.
There we go, thank
So
you.
the two of you are standing together in this alleyway. As you've obviously been walking together down this way back to the forge. You've been, just while you're marking your wounds, you've actually been summoned back because you've been told help has come to the city and you are to meet some new companions. Obviously these aren't them. They're trying to stab you up. But the two of you are standing next to each other.
These are the fellows we're looking for.
And these two bandits are in front of you.
Okay.
So it would be possible if Corvin wanted to disengage for Sir Gale to engage both of them, just as an option, or you can whack him with your court staff.
Well, who goes first?
Sir Gale.
Sir Gale. So I will shout, "Get behind me, Mr. Applebaum!" and strike the one attacking him with my bastard sword.
Okay.
Roughly, I strike him. Ah,
And
oui,
I'm-
oui.
Here we go. Oh dear.
Dual points.
I failed by 4,
I succeed by 2.
so you get 6.
So it's
Plus if you don't roll for damage, your
6.
weapon does a certain amount of damage.
It does 11.
It does 11.
So yes.
What? How does it do 11?
So it's got 5 normal, and then
Yeah.
plus 5 for being a bastard sword, and I get plus 1 for the mighty blow
For
quality.
being a bastard. Plus
Yes.
strength.
Yes, which is 50.
Oh.
So plus 5.
Okay. So 5 plus 5,
Plus 1, so 11 plus 6.
17 points of
17
damage.
points of damage.
His strength bonus is 5.
My strength bonus is
the
5,
weapon
plus
does
5
5.
damage normally,
So plus 5 from the weapon
Yeah.
is 10.
plus
Yeah.
1 for
From the
having
success
mighty
levels.
blow.
Strike mighty blow.
12.
6 success levels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's the success levels they're doing it.
Yeah. So where did you hit him?
I rolled a... What did I roll? That's
0.7, wasn't it, or something?
Hit him in the soul.
No, because you got
41, I think it was.
So it was 41. Yes.
so
yeah.
14,
14.
left arm.
In the left arm.
In the left arm.
Make a note of it, Mr. Torvald.
So, yeah.
Oh, we're playing that game again, are we?
Oh, yeah.
What's
I
that
really
game?
enjoyed that.
Lawrence
from
logs
last season.
all the location hits to do a little running.
Oh, right.
We
normally
actually
we-
need to do a bit of a spreadsheet.
Normally
season
we
1 and
pick a
2.
location of the week.
Yeah.
If I can find them, yeah.
Okay, so you step forward between the two guys and Corvin, and you swing your bastard sword, 2 hands, I
Yeah.
assume, into the guy's arm, and you cut his arm off. And his arm hits the floor, the fingers twitching, and he screams in pain as blood sprays around, completely missing you. And
Oh, he's keeping his on.
and he kind of stumbles backwards, like bashes into a crate that's sitting in the alleyway. His sword goes out of his other hand, and he's just like sliding down the wall, like a look of horror on his face. Like, this did not go as I planned.
It's almost like attacking a fully armed Bretonian was not a good idea.
Meanwhile, in Armdorf, Alvin suddenly gets hit by a spray of blood.
The
One of his
bastard-
cult trips over, bashes his head, and a bit of blood
The
falls out.
bastard
That's
sword
fine.
also has the damaging quality. I don't know if that gives it anything else. but-
That's
I will
that's
look
pretty
that up while
nasty.
you carry on.
Yeah, you get qualities going on. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's now Corvin's go.
Corvin.
So
Okay.
you're now not engaged,
Right.
because also he just killed the guy who you were engaged with.
The other two fellas,
There's one behind you and one in front of you.
they're separated.
Yes.
Well then I'm going to change what I'm going to do. I want to try some magic.
Oh!
There we go.
Ambitious.
Hey, bit of magic.
God, I've not done this before. Success levels are hard, aren't they? I don't think I can do any of these in one
I
hit.
believe.
You believe? Okay.
What spell are you going to try and
I
do?
want to try and cast Bolt at the
Okay.
one behind.
And what's the CN of Bolt?
4.
Whoa!
So does that mean he needs 4 success
I need
levels?
Yes,
successes.
to do it in one go.
So it's magic, language magic.
Miscast on his first.
65?
65.
So you need a 20, basically.
Yeah, 25
Don't say it
on
out loud.
I know. Or you keep track and you just keep going.
No,
Yeah,
that's channeling.
So
Oh,
that
okay.
I have to declare that I'm channeling.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So this
Yep.
is just me trying to go for a quick one shot.
Quick
I'm going to
cast.
get a critical fail.
Oh, that's
69.
is that-
69.
Yeah, I
Is
thought
that
66
69?
then.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
69.
That's just a fail.
That's just a fail. Okay.
So-
So
Keep the
unfortunately,
secrets.
you
Nothing.
speak the words of magic,
Oh,
but
I sing as a law of life.
you sing. You start singing, but the wind of hish is just not sort of gathering around you at this moment. Okay, so then it's the bandits. Which one were you doing that
The
towards?
one behind me.
The one behind you. So you turn around and you start going.
Ah.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. And he looks at you like. Fuck.
Yeah, I was not expecting this.
He sees his friend has just had his arm cut off, and you turn around and start. Because as you do it, like like magic is trying to like initiate. He turns around and runs away. He's like, fuck
Like
this.
a hero.
He just like turns and runs.
No.
And you hear his feet like slapping
In
on the
Britannia, we call
cobblestones
that a
as-
peasant move.
as he runs away. So well done, your spell worked.
You cast fear.
Yeah. The other bandit
Shanks me.
behind, in front of you, runs into combat. So the two of them will attack you.
Yep.
You will be outnumbered,
Ooh.
which means they get plus 20. But when I roll an 85,
I rolled a 55, so 1 success.
I have 3 negative success levels.
So I still win.
So you
Don't
get another
forget to add
advantage.
the successes from your advantages as well, John.
Oh yes,
Is that an
That's-
auto?
It's
or
an,
do I have
it's
to
an
do that?
always a plus
Okay.
1.
So I get, 2 successes then.
Yeah, so you get advantage. And the other one tries to attack you as well.
Now, do I get to block this one as well?
Yes, it's always an opposed roll.
Okay, cool. This time I got, plus 10 because of my advantages.
You get plus 10 per.
Yes, I rolled a 79.
Yep.
Which means I've got -1.
Yep.
Plus 10, plus 10. So
Yep.
plus 10.
Okay, so 1 success level, and I got 1 success level, so it's a draw.
Yep.
Defender wins, I think.
It's the highest stat, I think.
Oh, high stat.
Who was the defender?
62.
Yeah, you.
But you're the
won.
defender.
Yes.
He gets +1 skill level for defensive on his sword. For
Oh.
incoming attacks.
Because it's defensive.
Nice.
Okay, cool. But you just got another advantage.
Bloody hell.
Which is why we capped it at
4.
yeah,
Okay.
because we found
that makes sense.
things
Because I was
get
about
a
to
bit
say, it's starting to get
snowballs.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Because
it
otherwise we
snowballs.
yeah.
So it's now it's your go,
So
and these two guys are standing there in front of you like, you're gonna fucking pay for that, mate.
did you find out what damaging does, right?
Yes.
What does it do?
So when you determine the success levels, you can either take the success levels for damage or the digit you roll on your
Digit die.
dice, not the tens die.
So if you rolled a 19 and your skill was 30, you'd get 2 success levels,
Yeah.
or 9 because you got the damaging.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
which is
I'll hit the
nuts.
one
Under
that
zero
was
counts as
originally-
10.
who originally tried to shank us.
Okay.
So a big sweep round the overcut. I rolled a 14.
Oh,
And
okay. Let's see
your
what I roll.
plus from the
77.
I got 8.
That's the roll
degrees-
on the
that's
ups
at the
table.
table. Where's
We
the
have
ups
the ups
table?
table.
8 degrees of success, Leon, to hit that guy.
Nice.
I had -3.
So 8 plus 3.
11.
11 to hit him.
Yeah, so you're about to do him 22 points damage.
Yeah, cool.
the torso.
So can we just see what happened on the ups
Yeah, let's
before,
roll the ups
before
table
John
first.
cuts him
Before I
out?
cut him in half.
Okay, here we go. Ups table.
So D100.
62.
You stumble badly, finding it hard to right yourself. Lose your next move.
Okay.
He's about to lose more than his next move.
You spin around, swinging the blade around you, and he kind of is intimidated by the maneuver and what he like goes to defend but stumbles backwards, raising his arms, and as he does so you bring the sword through his gut, through his spine, out his side, and you spray his friend with his and you literally cut him in half,
Nice.
and the top half of his body sloughs off onto the floor, and then his knees kind of go in and they collapse down. And his friend looks down like, he's got like blood all down him, and he's like,
Monsieur, I think you've made a mistake.
"Your go, Corvin."
Okay. Let's try this again.
He's
There's only
closer.
one guy left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, it's only a critical failure that
I'm
gives
gonna
you
do
a miscast.
I'm going to do something different though.
Okay, right.
I'm going to cast Drop.
Okay.
And I want him to try and make him drop his sword,
Okay.
which is a casting value of 1.
Okay.
So-
Is it opposed?
yes.
Do you
It
need me
is
to find it?
dexterity.
Okay.
I think it was -20 to not.
Okay,
drop your
fine.
sword.
That's
I
cool.
believe.
Yep.
If you want to check.
I believe
I'll
you.
find it.
I believe you.
I believe. Come
I
on.
believe in your spell.
Oh,
No,
70.
failed.
Would you like to use a fortune point to re-roll that?
It's not worth
Because
it.
they
for that
they
spell.
they come back.
How quickly do they come
Hold
back?
on. No,
Next
no.
session.
You still have to roll, because if it's opposed, if you roll worse than him...
No, he has to roll to cast the spell,
Oh, does he?
and then
Oh.
I roll to oppose. Did you? You didn't critically fail.
No, just 70.
Good. Okay.
Are you Laura
No, that's on
Light?
channeling. Is the
Yeah, Lord
Laura
of
Light.
Light.
Yes.
So all of yours are going to be on page 252.
Good
So
call.
we
I
can
will try
refer
and
to-
So-
photocopy them or something. Yeah, it's fine.
So you once again you're like, haha, you've run away. You turn around, and you're like, like you're slightly off key,
Oh.
and it doesn't.
You're just
doesn't
singing
quite-
behind the...
It doesn't
Nice.
go. You know.
I think he's trying to egg me on.
you know what he does.
Yeah, I know what he's doing.
Yeah. What he can sometimes do. The
You
magic.
should have paid
not-
attention in fighting class.
Yeah. And this guy looks at you, and he's like, he's going to make an intimidate.
I'm very good at intimidating.
I bet you are. And you can add your advantage to
He's,
this.
I've got 8.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. He probably loses control of his bowels and runs away from you. But you are in close combat, so if you wish to, you may attack him.
Can I declare that I don't want to kill him? I just want to make a,
Like, trip him.
or just knock him out.
Okay. Make a roll. Well, you're going to get the flat of the blade on the side of his
I'm
head.
thinking more a hilt of
Do
the
you
blade
have
on the
strike
head.
to stun? Because that's how you do that.
Oh right, so it's not like D&D. You just
No,
can't
it's
just declare.
strike
I don't
to
have
stun, it's
strike
a
to
talent.
stun. So I'm gonna fucking decapitate him in that case.
Okay.
Oh, maybe
Well,
not.
hang on.
No.
I still get +2, so 2 successes because of the advantage.
Isn't it
Oh,
You have to
unopposed?
pass the
Isn't it
test. and then
unopposed?
apply them.
No. You don't have to pass.
Right.
You roll to see what you've
I'm
got.
on a roll.
Yeah.
If he's just bolting, I think it's unopposed, isn't it?
Oh, it is unopposed because he's not defending.
So 2 successes.
Okay.
So I do him
What
13
did,
points of
what
damage.
did you roll to hit?
72.
So
Oh,
the
so it'd only
27
be 2 anyway from the...
be in his body or something.
So yeah, 13 points of damage.
13
It's
points
an
of damage.
arm, it's a right arm this time.
Okay, so you
Smack him in the
and you hear a crush of bone,
Oh, nice.
and he's like, ah! And he's drops his sword as he runs.
Oh, your spell worked.
We made short work of them, Sigale.
Oui, monsieur. But we should probably... Is he run off?
He's running off. He's just like,
We should probably stop him, Phil.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is it?
please don't kill me! You can hear him shouting as he runs over.
You must have something
He's
to
getting to the end of this alleyway where there's a left and a right hand turn.
Just scream boom headshot and do it.
say. Go on.
Okay.
Bolt.
I'll go for another bolt.
Yes.
Okay. Let's try this different colour dice.
I believe in you.
Casting 4. 68. No.
Fortune point.
Okay, I'll spend a fortune point to give me a re-roll.
You can take a corruption point for a free re-roll if you want.
Law of Light, I
The
can't
winds
be
of
taking
Hish,
corruption.
or maybe the winds of Dar circle round you and help you in your magic.
Don't do that.
Corruption.
You don't know about that.
It was a fortune.
So how does the fortune work?
You just re-roll.
Oh, okay.
You spend it and you re-roll.
So it'll be like guaranteed.
No, that's a resilience point.
Ooh!
10!
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
in the head.
In the head.
6.
Ow, right in the kisser. See, what did I tell you? Just saying.
So
Okay.
5 success levels.
5 success. It's a magic missile, damage +4. So if it's successful, hit location determined by reversing the dice roll.
0,
So
1.
1
So 0,
head.
1.
That's his head.
And the skill level is added to the spell listed damage. So it's 4 plus 5, 9.
9
Yep.
points.
Okay.
Oh,
So.
and willpower bonus.
Boom.
Oh, blimey.
And 3. So
Okay.
3,
So
4,
he says,
and
you
5.
better.
You
Yeah.
better stop him, monsieur.
Yeah, and you.
Remember what I said about boom headshot?
This bolt flies down the alleyway, like illuminating it up in like a sweeping searchlight, and it like hits him in the back of the head, and the front of his face explodes. Oh, not the camera. Explodes, and he like flies through the air and skids into the far wall in like a puddle of his own combine brain and blood.
Very good shot, monsieur. I suppose we should find out who these people are.
You gonna check them?
Yeah, I'll start. I mean, quite hard because I'm in full plate mail, so I'll try and find them.
I'll assist him because I can see
Thank you.
Sagan has
Thank
problems bending over.
Instead, I'll wipe the sword down.
Okay.
So,
Right, so you check out the
shouting stuff.
Okay. They have like daggers and
They
swords.
seem to be some sort of brigands.
I mean, they knew who we were. I mean, they could be just after our money. Both of them, because we currently don't have any money.
It's unlikely. I think we were targeted.
I mean, but were they targeting you, or were they targeting me? So you did say that damn Bretonian.
Yes.
Slightly racist, but okay.
Do you have any old enemies who might have followed
Are you
you?
gonna? Are you going to actually search them?
This was
Yes,
me doing this.
he is searching.
Is
This
that
is
it?
me searching.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
That's the limit of your searching.
And I've got to hold on to my stuff.
Okay, well, make a perception roll at -20
Okay.
because you're literally just like patting them.
Well, you know, they're dirty.
If you actually want to search their
You know,
I
bodies.
will search
Okay,
properly.
okay, make it. That's fine. That's
So,
fine.
perception?
Yes.
Yes.
Just,
Do I have that?
Is it perception?
38.
Yeah, +30 because it's.
no, so pass by 2.
No, I
Okay.
have to roll under, don't I?
Yes, but it's +30.
Oh.
Yes, you got +30 to your skill.
so the
2.
plus goes on
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
Two.
2 successes.
Okay. This guy has got behind his ear a very small tattoo of a hammer with a crooked handle. Both of you make intelligence, or if you have any kind of law.
Got law heraldry.
Or Reikland.
That'll
Or
do.
law magics.
Law right.
I'll let him do it.
Law heraldry at
Law
-10.
heraldry. Oh, -10.
Okay, so
You've been in the.
Nothing.
town for-
I got mine. Well, do I still get the advantages, or are they gone?
No, they're gone now.
yeah, no, so that's not a pass.
-1.
Okay. It's dark. Could be a crap tattoo. You're not sure.
Have you ever seen this symbol before?
Can't say that I have.
Where were we heading?
You were heading to the Falkenberg Forge, which is where your employer, Mr Tangemann, has been residing. He has sent out a false message that he has died to members of the city, and you know he's not dead, but you are under the orders to keep the pretense that he is dead.
Are we staying there? Or?
And you are staying there with them, and you're in hire to him. You are,
Yeah.
because you're a bit of a mercenary.
Well, I'm on a quest.
You're on a quest. You need money. You're on a quest. You need money.
I do need money.
And you're there because you're assisting. You're kind of officially assisting.
Yeah.
And the Falkenbergs are there. Just need to get my sheets out. And it's not far. It's like a 5-10 minute walk. And you have Wendelina and Adelina Falkenberg. Wendelina is the blacksmith. And Adelina is a warrior who protects her. They are sisters. You can, if you want to head back there.
I think it's probably best.
Yes.
Okay. So you make your way through the streets of Ubersreik. There are many people moving around. And at all corners there are patrols of Altdorfer troops in their blue and red tunics and tabards and livery and shields and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of blue and red sort of dotted all around. You know that the Emperor sent a force of soldiers to attack, in fact, the Jungfreud. Yep, Jungfreuds. The old Graf who ran the city. You've been told about this since you got here. But he was wise to choose to retreat to his country castle rather than put the city under siege, have people die. He decided to take his army and move out. Now, people don't know really why the Emperor has moved in and taken over basically a city that should belong to him, and it is under his control through the Graf. And there are all kinds of rumours flying around the city. And Mr Tangemann has been sending you out to go and see if you can find out a bit about what's going on. You get the feeling that he knew the Jungfreuds, or knows the
So no one
Jungfreuds.
knows why Altdorf has come and taken them.
Well, the official line is that Jungfreud was amassing an army that was beyond the agreed limits of, like, the treaties of him running this area of the country. This is actually true. Lots of people believe it's true because lots of people saw lots of troops leave the city with Jungfreuds. It's also one of the reasons they haven't gone into the mountains to take him down in Blackrock Castle, because he's got a big army in the mountains. That's a hard thing to shift. Yeah. So the Altdorfers are taking over the city. There's been a council put in. There are a couple of figureheads. There is Lady Nucht, who is the Emperor's representative, and General von Dabernick, who is the head of the Altdorf forces. You know about these people, they've been spoken about and talked about, and people argue about who's actually in charge, you know. And then there's a town council of various people from guilds making up the control of the city. You've been, for the last few days, not very long, been going out trying to talk to various people about why is this going on, what's going on, what's the real situation going on. Tangemann is very interested in who is amassing against the Jungfreuds and why, and you're not sure why, but he's paying you well and you've been instructed to help. And it does seem that this is a very disruptive thing going on in the city. You know, the Altdorfers are being fairly heavy-handed, and lots of the people are not happy about it. But you make your way to the Falkenberg Forge, which has only been recently set up. However, they are an industrious pair of sisters, and they have they've hired some kids and teenagers from the local area, carefully, urchins indeed, and they have set up a very fine forge already, an old forge that was disused. Suddenly they turned up with lots of money, bought a forge, bought loads of equipment, bought loads of tools, set it all up, and it was ready to roll within a matter of days. And you've been using it as a base of operations. There's an adjoining building, which is an old tavern, which is no longer a tavern, is now Tangemann's kind of domicile, and you are boarding there.
Stables?
There are stables. It's like an old tavern, so it has a courtyard for stables. You know, its own little smithy, but that's not really used because there's a proper blacksmith next door. So your horse will be there.
Nice.
And as you arrive, you can see that actually the double doors into the courtyard are open, and that there is a cart with some horses being tended to by some of the young kids who are working for Tangemann. As you approach, you can see Wendelina glancing. She's opened the shutters on one of the windows and she's kind of looking out, and there's a light inside the room, and she sees the two of you coming, and she goes to the door and opens the door. Says, Sir Gale, Corvin, you have returned.
Indeed, we have.
I hope you are okay.
We were accosted on the road.
Well, that makes 3. Is that 3 days in a row?
Indeed. It seems these brigands are attracted to our nice clothes.
Shiny
She
laughs.
laughs. She's starting to get used to your sense of humour. She's hung out.
Italian humour.
She's hung out with too many dwarfs in her time.
Their humour is hard like stone.
Well, we have some visitors that we would like to meet. Some help, some much needed and
Splendid.
very useful help, and someone I'm not au fait with, but I'm sure they're a priest, so they're fine. Come this way. Come this way. And you are taken upstairs to the large room that is Tangemann's chamber, and he is ill. He's like a physically weak older man. He's lived a life, obviously, of opulence. So he's quite rakishly thin. He seems to be coughing all the time. And he drinks this kind of herbal remedy a lot. If you guys remember when you met him before, he seemed very frail. And he had these 2 bodyguards. There was a man with a polearm and a dwarf with various bits
A lot of
runic
runes,
armor. and they are there as well. They're guarding the room, so they allow you to enter. And Wendelina brings the two of you in, and you see. Why don't you guys describe yourselves?
Who are you?
About 6 foot tall, human male, shortish, dark hair, grey eyes, black, everything, hat.
Including armour.
And a raven flies in through the open door and lands next to you. You think you've seen this bird before somewhere?
Okay, Bagrik's quite tall for a dwarf. He's 4'11", which for them is tall.
Titan.
He's probably about that wide as well. He is a slab of a dwarf, coated head to toe in steel, wearing full plate armour, although his helmet will be hung at his side at the moment.
Yeah.
He's got, depending on how much you know about dwarves, a relatively short beard. Yeah.
You'll also see a slightly less heavily built, similar height, so doesn't look square, unlike most dwarves. Not in full plate, but still armoured in chain. Sort of much darker colouring, although without the sort of colouring difference, you probably wouldn't tell them apart. We're very, very similar. I mean, even for dwarves, we look very
Really
similar.
Yeah.
The only difference is I'm dark-haired, dark-eyed,
And thinner.
Yeah.
Although only so much.
Yeah. And reclining in this bed, four-poster bed with the curtains open, is Mr Tangemann, who you've now all been introduced to, and you have just arrived, the three of you, and been taken up to meet with him. And you are surprised because you had received a message that he was dead, and that you should come, and you did. You're all gathered. Excellent. Rolfsons, how are you?
Could be better. Someone's not our gold. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, don't be silly, old chap. I've been looking after it for you.
Good.
Yes, we needed a little bit of funds to set up here, so I had to empty my own accounts as well. But don't worry, your money is safe with the Dowie.
Bagrik will simply nod.
Bagrik Rolfson.
We should probably describe us as well on that day.
Yeah. Give a little visual.
Okay, so I'm wearing all white robes.
Yep.
I have a indeterminate hat at this point.
A hat.
It's a moustache and goatee, as is the fashion.
Yes.
My quarterstaff. I look very good. I guess look better than other people.
Are you young?
Sorry?
How old are you? Do you look
like
young?
26-ish.
Ah, roguish.
Yeah.
Roguishly good looks.
Young for a wizard.
Straight out of university.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Know it all.
I am a 6'2" Bretonian in full plate mail.
You can tell it just by looking at it.
Yes. Parted hair, black hair with green eyes, and the Bretonian style moustache. So none of this curly rubbish. Just a nice moustache.
Boring.
Yeah. I have a ridiculously tall helmet that I am holding in one arm. A tabard with a brown tabard with a blue sea eagle. A green sea eagle on it. And on my back a shield with a sword and then a bastard sword as well through the back. So quite an imposing figure.
You're both quite imposing.
Yeah.
A wizard and a knight.
I'll just loom over here.
I'm holding the helmet at my waist, and the eagle crest that comes up is about here. So it's ridiculously tall.
Be careful running around corners.
Yes. Catch the wind, but also flex arrows.
Just imagine you having real trouble getting through doors.
Bagrik, Torvald, and Morgan, was it? Sorry. Yes, please meet Sir Gael de Bordelot. Bordelot. And Corvin Affelbaum from the College of Light.
That turning around, Bagrik's just going to kind of let out a low rumble. Sort of a kind of noise.
Bagrik rolls. What are you doing here?
Turning around, very controlled. And kind of reflexively kind of moving towards the axe.
It's good to see a friendly face.
Have you bumped into this dwarf before? I mean, you definitely would remember.
Yes, I met Bagrik. Oh, quite a few weeks back now.
So we're giving him a stony stare, looking up and down. And
Bagrik tells it better than me.
Corvin, it's been a while, manling.
It's good to see you.
So how do you two know each other then?
As a
Met in the mountains.
Do I
wave
want to
him
stay
to
away from the
elaborate.
rest of the story? He says, has a sip of his herbal drink.
I
Bagrik
was
just pauses there for the moment.
out running an errand for my master, and I heard a bit of a commotion with some dwarves and some greenskins. And I lent a hand, and then
Let's enough of a low growl.
it all ended well. And then Bagrik came along and helped me with my quest and getting back to Altdorf. Or Nuln.
As much as it pains me to say it, manlings being kind. I was escorting my brother from Carrick Norn to Carrick Asgaraz.
You've got another brother?
Aye, an older one.
Ah. Oh, Asgaraz.
Aye.
Right.
On the way, our small throng was attacked by greenskins. He'll spit on the floor when he says that.
Move my robe out there to spit.
Tangemann, like...
Completely oblivious
Yeah,
to any
looks at
kind
him,
of
he's like,
reaction.
oh, okay. Dwarves.
It was a hard fight. There were only a few of us, and there were a lot of them. Corvin came to our assistance, and
I
used
won't say rescue.
and used his magics to help drive them off. Unfortunately, my brother was mortally wounded in the fighting.
Well, you managed to leave that one out, brother.
And again, just kind of another low growl.
Mr. Applebaum, you never told me if we fought to see greenskins.
Corvin used his magic to heal him.
Ah. Healing magic.
Yes.
The light is very useful, isn't it? It's a shame such
purest
things
form of magic.
don't help with my condition. He says, sipping from his cup.
And from there, we went to Carrick Asgaraz. Along the way, we found what young Corvin was looking for. And from there, travelled together, just the two of us, from Carrick Asgaraz to Ubersreik. After that, that's when we went our separate ways. He went back to his master. I went to Nuln to meet my brother.
Right. Well, fortuitous then. Excellent. Glad to see that
At the end of
I've
that,
chosen good company
Bagrik's
twice.
face does drop in a look of shame.
And he shaves all of his hair. Central mohawk.
Takes out a little bottle of beard dye, shakes it, sprays a little
orange paint.
Oh, that was the end of that. Just rips off his mail armour.
Definitely an appraising look from
Oh, the
Morgan,
serious stare.
Deadpan
Because we're
stare.
dressed almost opposite.
Yeah, we've literally got black and white between you. You could make magpie.
I'm sorry, monsieur, we failed to find out anything new on the streets today. We were accosted by brigands again.
Again.
They had an odd tattoo on them. It's a crooked hammer. Don't suppose you've ever seen that before?
Wendelina says, there's a tavern. There's a tavern called the Crooked Hammer. I think some of the people work there. It's a dodgy, seedy place. I've been told to stay away from it because it's like some sort of thieves guild operating out of it. It's there's a symbol with a hammer with little handles, kind of crooked.
Yes, that's the one.
That's what they've got on the outside the tavern.
Where is this tavern?
It's not far from the Grail Chapel,
Oh.
which is the centre of Bretonian activity in.
Is it Marketplace? Or the Merchant
It's
Quarter?
in the docks, Toybrucker.
There's Toybrucker on there.
Get the map out.
So we're looking at a map at the same time.
Some
Team
really
at home.
cool resources in the starter set.
Yeah, there is.
I get
maps.
one with numbers on. You don't.
I can't see a dock there.
Right.
Probably can't.
I will be able to tell you where it is.
I would guess
Okay.
there.
So the Grail Chapel is about here.
Ah, it's a Merchant Quarter.
Yep. And the Crooked Hammer is just the other side of the river. So it's from there, and the Crooked Hammer's along.
Oh, in Marketplace. Oh. Ah, such a wretched howl of scum and villainy cannot be stand to see him in the light of my lady. We will go there at once.
Very
Come,
well.
monsieur. Battle awaits.
Before you leave, I
Yeah.
think you should take my friends with you. They are very capable. They were just telling me of their recent exploits. The Armdorf, that's right?
Aye.
Yes. They've rid a region near Nuln of a group of foul chaos worshippers and Fimir. Disgusting creatures, I hear.
Bagrik spits on the floor again at the mention of it.
I nod at him spitting.
Yes, I agree. I wouldn't do it myself,
No,
but I
not
agree.
that uncouth.
He says, I'm troubled by the recent political turn in the city. I deliberately sent you a message that would get you here. I believe that there is the young Freud, the Graf Sigismund, is aware of the conspiracy that was going on in the southern Reikland, which is you're now beyond that area. He was amassing forces under his control beyond that dictated by the Reikland diet. So beyond the battalions he was allowed to raise, but he was doing it anyway. I believe he was preparing for the worst. I need to find out what's going on here. This could be destabilizing all of southern Reikland, all of Reikland. There are Emperor's close friends and agents in this city. If there is someone manipulating the diet from these 4 towns, Griswold, Bogenhafen, any of them, it may be that the Emperor's been manipulated into sending forces to take out the Graf in an attempt to allow this conspiracy to flourish in southern Reikland. I think young Freud might be someone to help us, which is why I've called for you.
Where is he?
Well, it's not that easy. He's up in his mountain castle, and the region is patrolled by Altdorfer groups. They're looking for an easy way in, but they're not making any overt maneuvers as far as I know. And there are different groups within the city that are either for or against. Members of the town council who are working against him, and some who wish for him to return. I am gathering what information I can, but it is tricky. The Dowie, your kinfolk, have not been happy since the Jungfreuds have been removed. They have a long-standing relationship with them. They built the bridge together. There is a history between this family and the dwarven folk of the city. Another reason I thought it would be useful to have you here. Who better to talk to dwarves than dwarves? You are the best dwarves I know. and at the moment,
Shrug looking at
at the
Torvald.
moment, I'm running low on contacts but high on cash. So I need help changing that around.
Can you not be high on both?
Well, I've only been here for a few days and I am trying to lie low. Many attempts were made on my life, and my 2 friends out there have protected me a number of times in the last couple of weeks. It has been a close call a couple of times.
Do you think the Sansavinos are involved?
With what's going on here,
Aye.
I don't think so. But I think they may have passed a bounty or passed a message, or there are some forces from those 4 towns that they're in contact with here, working to subvert the rightful ruler of this land in a just cause. It seems that the problems we've been having may have spread further than we thought. I mean, one avenue is to try and make contact with the Graf in Blackrock Castle in the mountains. You are free to obviously leave the city and head there. That would be a great use. Another would be to investigate who is trying to kill us regularly so that we can stop that avenue. But as you've seen, you've already been attacked tonight. I would not suggest that you travel alone. I suggest that...
Bagrik's smiling at this point.
I would suggest that that you work together. This is why I've sent for you.
Well, if they're after you, I'll follow you.
We?
I'll probably stand behind you, but yes.
Then we have a accord. We shall set out at once.
Make you two Priest of More and
room
Wizard
explodes.
of Light. Yeah. Make intuition rolls.
I know, they're going to find out I'm a Skaven assassin.
Yeah.
29.
Spoilers.
That's my perception. So,
Intuition.
1 success. Intuition. I did perception, sorry. That was my intuition. Where's my intuition?
30, whatever that says.
Okay, cool. 1 success.
He seems to be not telling you everything, but that's not unusual because
You are the help.
you're the help. There's bigger things going on. He's a big picture guy. You know, you guys are the implementers. You know, completer finishers. So he's not telling you everything, but that may be for a good reason.
Okay. I was quizzically struck my goatee.
There are forces at work here. There were 4. I believe 1 is well on the way to being dealt with. This I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
From where we go next, that's not yet seen. We will work with you.
D'accord. Then let us go. Follow us. We will take you to the inn.
Just going to look at you casually. Why do priests always speak in bloody riddles?
Okay.
Hey, I said exactly what I meant.
And we'll head out.
So you're going to head out and head to the Crooked Hammer. Okay. You make your way through the streets. Luckily, this time you are not beset upon by any muggers, burglars, brigands,
Aww.
or cutthroats.
Someone jumps out and they go, "Oh, sorry, I thought you guys were someone else."
yeah. There's a lot of that in Ubersreik right now.
Sorry, everyone.
yeah. Ooh. So, no, not you.
Can
Sorry.
I be personal? You've got plate armor now.
Yeah. You've got a plated dwarf. Yeah. The buildings are close together. It's starting to get into the afternoon, early evening, and it's starting to get a bit dark. There is a gentle rain, and there is the smell of fresh dung in the streets as the horses and humans leave their spoils for the open air in the poorer parts of the town. And as you head down to the docks, the noise of activity is still a throng even at this time, and you can see there are various barges and boats and ships in the river, and there's lots of activity going on, movements, and you make your way along the docks until you see the Crooked Hammer ahead. This is a seedy, rough-looking tavern. This is clearly where the scum from the ships hang out. The beer is likely watered down to piss. The food is going to be mouldy or, past its sell-by date. I
feel like we've been here before.
There's many taverns in the Warhammer world.
Wretched hire of scam and villainy.
Okay, yes. So you make your way up to the tavern, and there's various people in different states of drunkenness. Some of them properly drunk and hanging over the edge of the dock and vomiting into the river. Others just sort of stumbling about and prattling about and, silly things that men do when they're drunk. Trying to jump over posts and things like that and kicking each other in the nuts and stuff like that. Funny things that sailors do. Just like drunk people. Drunk people milling about in front of this tavern and they're all like, pushing each other around and stuff. You can see that there are a certain number of people who go in and out with a slightly more serious look on their face. And everyone make perception rolls as you approach.
I rolled an 8.
Yeah, I also rolled an 8.
Can you actually roll if you have no skill levels in it?
Yes, you just roll the basic.
Oh, the basics.
As long as it's a basic skill.
Because of perception.
Yes, it's there.
Yeah.
5 success levels.
Okay.
3.
Yeah, 5 success levels as well.
Okay. As you approach, you get mixed emotions as you look down the side alleyway of this tavern, which is clearly crappy and shitty, and all these people are messing about or hurting each other. Down the side alley, you can see there's a queue of what look like homeless people lined up, and there's a door open on the side of the tavern, and there is a tall, stern-looking woman handing bowls and you can see heat rising off them out to these homeless people, and they seem to sort of move on as they pass these things out, and they sort of go around a corner. You can't see where they go. Yes, that's kind of what you see if you're successful.
My friends, we are going to stick out like a sore thumb in there. Perhaps we should send in someone who could blend in a bit better?
What are you implying?
That you're the only one not in shiny clothes?
You mean the one that's all dressed in black?
I mean, it's more subtle than this or that.
I don't see many manlings walking around dressed with that and black armour.
It's just a suggestion.
Considering that
A
I'm...
drunk man, talking to his friend, sort of looks over his shoulder and sees you and goes, "Fuck off back to Bretonia!"
I love the Empire. The people are so friendly.
I'm assuming that as I'm not in my plate, there wouldn't be unusual to see a dwarf
No,
around.
not at all. There are shitloads of dwarves in Ubersreik. You've passed loads already.
So I can probably wander in
You can
without
wander in.
too much of an unexpected look. Because a dwarf in chain is a dwarf simply
In
dressed.
casual gear.
Yes, in his
So my
underwear.
casual chain.
Casual chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Sunday
Lounge
plate and
wear.
my casual chain. Torvald, do you want to go in?
I'll just
Are you sure?
There seems to be a brawl going on in the bar as you go closer.
I'll
Such a vibrant house.
there'll be a rumble of Kazalid between
Yeah.
me and Bagrik along the lines of stay out here,
There's a fight in there. Looks fun.
stay out here. If I need your help, or if
fly through a window.
if it all goes wrong, you'll know. You always do. And
What
I'll
is the plan?
slip in.
Oh, no, he's gone.
fuck.
Okay.
Okay, so you're
He's
going to go into the
going in.
tavern. The rest of you are going to move away from the tavern. You're going to hang around out the front.
Doing a little dance.
Yeah.
I would like to walk along the side and down the alley where all the people are going.
Okay. Bye.
Cool.
As I slip it, as I pass you, I'll say in Bretonian, watch for trouble, my friend, and walk past. As I walk past.
Sorry, if you talk to him in Bretonian, you have to put on a French accent.
That will be interesting.
Like a wine.
Just don't
watch
say
out,
the
my
like
friend.
a bitch, and just replace all the with the z.
So you go into the tavern, and Morgan goes down the side alleyway with the.
We will go around the corner.
You guys
So
are kind
I'm a
of.
little intimidated by Morgan, so Corvin's not going to follow Morgan.
I'll
Okay.
look at the Bretonian who Bagrik's already forgotten the name of. Keep an eye on the other manling. I'll kind of gesture with my head towards where Morgan went.
Okie dokie.
Right, Torvald.
Mhm.
You step into the tavern. As you open the door, you're assailed by the noise first, and then a tankard flies past your head. And there are indeed sort of 4 or 5, you can't quite tell, people sort of in a general sort of bundle on the floor. There's a smashed table, and you can see that there are kind of cards and coins sort of dotted
Scattered.
around. And there are lots of people moving around, and like the waiting staff are just sort of going around these people fighting on the floor and like balancing cups and bowls and mugs very gracefully as they kind of dart round them. And there is a chap at the bar who seems to be he seems like he's heavily scarred, and he's doing the standard cleaning a tankard and chatting to a patron. As you kind of come in, there are quite a few people in here moving around, and there seem to be a few. You're quite perceptive, so you can already see a couple of people who are just kind of sitting watching the room.
Yeah,
just sort of dotted around. And what do you want to do?
I will just quite casually wander my way around the bar, stepping over, past.
Yep.
Whatever, in some cases treading on if there's no other option.
There's a crushed finger.
Whoever's brawling to get to the bar.
Yep.
And sort of pull myself up at the bar and sort of ask for a drink.
Okay. This chap comes over and he says, don't believe I've seen you in here before. Welcome. Welcome to the Crooked Hammer.
Thank you very much. Drink, please.
What would you like?
Best beer you've got.
Okay. That'll be a shilling.
Pass him 2.
Oh.
Vicious.
He puts the mug down, and then his retreating hand scoops up the 2 coins. So, what brings you into the Crooked Hammer, my friend?
Looking for work. Just got here. This place seemed lively.
He laughs. Yeah, it definitely is that. As you sip the beer, it's crap.
Yeah.
It's absolute piss. Well, you're looking for work?
Yeah.
Well, we can use a hand or a heavy round here every now and then. Look like you could look after yourself.
I can hold my own if necessary.
Interesting. He's sort of eyeing you up and down, and he sort of says, bear with me a minute, and he walks off through a doorway. Morgan, you go down this alleyway, and there's a queue of kind of Ubersreik downtrodden and poor, homeless, destitute people, kids, men, women, all kinds of people. A couple of dwarfs even there.
Ooh.
And they all seem to be lined up. None of them really want to seem to talk to you.
That's not unusual.
Yeah, they're kind of either scared shitless of you because they kind of recognise you for what you are, or they're just like in their own zone. They're like, I don't want anything to do with anyone. I'm just here for the...
Well, it's not my intention to harass anyone.
Sure.
But more just kind of to a lap of either the building or the block, like
Okay.
as far as it goes.
And as you
down
get
and
down
around.
to the doorway where the woman is, she says, can I help you there, sir?
I believe you're otherwise busy, but thank you.
Yeah, can I help you though? This is the Cross's soup kitchen. Can I?
The crosses.
Yeah.
You're not with the other establishment.
Well, we are.
Oh, the sign didn't look like.
Well, the Crooked Hammer. Sometimes it looks a little bit like a little cross.
I suppose it could. No, I'm just making sure no one needs my assistance.
Everyone's got all the assistance they need here. We're helping these people out. We do what we can for them.
Good to know.
Yeah. She seems to be trying to sort of nicely bar your way from walking round the corner. No aggressive intent, but it's kind of.
A stab her in the face.
Could you pass me that book, please?
Yep.
Cheers. Thank you.
Dun.
What district were we in?
The markets.
The docks.
Okay.
Because the nice part of the city is just there.
Didn't catch your name.
Morgan.
Nice to meet you, Morgan. That's a nice. Have you got an open symbol or not clear?
A hat.
Yeah.
It's a known symbol of more.
It's a nice hat.
I was looking for a carpenter. Can you point me in a direction?
Can you make an intelligence roll
Dun, dun, dun.
or law?
No, I can't.
Okay.
86.
Okay. Yep. You were looking for what? Sorry.
Carpenter.
A carpenter. There's none around here. I would go and check with the ships. They often have carpenters on the ships.
Oh,
So,
the dockyard.
Yeah, just over there. Says point back the way you came. They all the ships and boats and barges, they're all made of wood. They all have carpenters, like ship's carpenters. It's an important part of every ship, every boat. You need to fix a plank, fix a railing, replace a gunnel, whatever
I
that
suppose
is.
that might do. Thank you. And I shall turn around and go back the way I came.
Okay.
You know, join us or go in a tavern.
She's ignoring.
When I get there.
Okay, so you turn back the way you came. After a short while, Torvald, this chap comes back and he says, what kind of work have you previously done? You're new to this place, and I don't know you. You've got no recommendations.
True. No, my work's generally been out and about. I'm not a bad guide. Better out beyond the city walls, admittedly, but I'm not bad finding my way around.
Into places? Out of places?
If necessary.
Come with me. And he takes you through. He sort of lifts the bar flap and points to the room, the door that he went through, and go in. You're going to go into the room.
After you, Manling.
Ooh, very well. He opens the door, and there is a short corridor with a doorway at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of see a kitchen and people moving about. But he's kind of gesturing to the left, where there seems to be another entranceway. In here, please. We'd just like to have a chat.
I'll follow you.
No, by all means. You first. And he steps back and he says, you first.
I'll step in.
Okay, as you get to the doorway, you look in and you can see two large guys in there without shirts on.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to have stuff bound around their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a chair in the middle of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of see that as you step to the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
I will step sideways to the doorway, look up at the gentleman and go, the barman, and just go,
Yeah.
thank you for your offer. However, I don't believe that that will be necessary.
Why not?
Those gentlemen don't look very friendly, and I don't believe that I have said anything to offend.
He seems amused now. He's like, this is quite interesting. You seem to have a bit of guts about you. The kind of look on his face. Okay, maybe they're not required. And he kind of looks into the room and he nods at them, and they walk out. And then he goes into the room. He says, we will be able to talk in here a bit more quietly.
I'll step in with him.
Okay. He shuts the door,
Mhm.
doesn't lock it or anything. Right. So you're capable then, are you? You got some guts, that's fair to say.
I've come a long way, and I've been a reasonable amount of places in the Empire, and in the underways of the Dwarven Holds. That wasn't necessary. I'm a dwarf of my word.
Yeah, but you seem to be hanging around with that Bretonian.
Oh, I speak the language. It's nice to practice it from now and then.
Speak the language, blimey, it's hardly talking, is it?
I can speak a few other languages as well.
Such as?
Obviously pass in Reikland. I can speak my own language. I speak that of the Bretonians. And I have a little bit of Elvish, if necessary.
A little bit of Elvish. A dwarf. Wow. This is an interesting evening. Well, what can I say? I am very interested in you, my friend. You feel like he was about to say, small friend. Well, I tell you what. If you do me a little job, a simple job, then maybe I'll let you talk to the boss.
Kill
The crosses are always in need of capable people, and it seems like you got Law Reikland or Law. Or
I've got Law of
Waiting
Issenland.
for him to say
Yeah, that'll do.
return.
No.
Okay. Maybe you could be useful. Be nice to have a couple more dwarf in the ranks. A few more.
Not many, I guess.
No. Ranald isn't a big thing amongst the dwarves.
No, we tend to prefer our own ancestors.
Sure, whatever. Anyway, the Boatman's Guild, they've been pissing me off.
And you would like have someone to go and speak to them?
No. I want someone to go and steal their lucky ore. Their tavern, well, their guild hall, down the road, they have, over the fireplace, a big lucky ore. I can't remember the story. Some whacked a kraken with it, saved the ship, some rubbish, I don't know. Crazy, drunk, old men. But, there's like the lower floor has like a tavern for their guild people, and that's where it is. You can get in there, steal that ore, bring it back here, and no one knows that it's us that sent you. Then maybe we'll talk some more.
Maybe we will.
Right, well, maybe you should go and finish your drink.
Yeah. And see if the bar has quietened down or if it's only got more interesting.
Oh, it'll be like that at some stage again. Don't worry, you won't have missed out on anything.
It's always interesting to always interesting to watch mankind fight. Teaches you so much.
He looks at you strangely. Certainly, and he goes, "Well, I've got stuff to attend to, so see you later, dwarf."
And you.
Right, so
I'll go finish my drink.
Yep.
And then quietly slip out and find the rest of them.
Okay, well, before you come out, Morgan, you come out of the alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going?
Did she seem like she was going to go back to whatever she was doing, or that she was keeping an eye on me?
Well, she can kind of do a bit of both, because
Yeah.
she's kind of standing in the doorway handing out these bowls of soup. It's like a soup kitchen.
I will go in the direction of vaguely where she intended until I'm out of line of sight.
Yep.
And then wait there.
Okay.
Can I still see the front door?
Yep.
And these guys and
Yep.
whatever from there?
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
stay there.
Okay, cool. So you're keeping an eye at distance. Okay, so you see... you don't... Oh, no, you do. You see Torvald come out of the tavern and head over to these guys.
And how'd it go, my dwarf friend?
The place is exactly what we thought it was.
See? I told you.
Am I right that Ranald would be one of your manling gods?
He's a god of trickery.
Which one is he? I don't recognise him. Thieves and trickery. That would make sense. I might have possibly got a job for them if I wanted to do it. It could lead to something interesting, although I'm not entirely sure about it.
Oh, what was it?
Oh, just a simple matter of stealing something from someone else and bringing it back to prove myself. Standard.
No honour in that.
I will be no party to no stealing, I'm afraid.
Of course not, brother. But it taught me what we're dealing with.
Bunch of scum by the sound of it.
I agree with the dwarf. It sounds...
That's a very accurate assessment.
So why don't we go in there and kick their ass?
I agree, again, with
As
the
you say,
dwarf.
as you say that, a troop of 10 alt dwarf soldiers walk along and start to beat the living shit out of all the drunk people outside the tavern.
It seems order is finally being restored.
But only the people outside the tavern. They don't go in the tavern. And in fact, as they're beating the shit out of them, the chap that you spoke to comes to the doorway, and maybe some sort of sergeant or something, one of them with a slightly different hat on, a feather on his helmet or something, he nods to the guy. And the innkeeper nods back, and then the Altdorf soldiers kind of move forward. They even chuck one guy, knock him out and chuck him in the river.
Oh.
You know, he's probably dead. But this area's a bit of a shitty area, so no one's really that bothered. You know.
I am.
I think I'm slightly bothered.
yeah, I get that. Good. You're the heroes. They don't interfere with the alleyway with the homeless people, though. And make perception rolls. -20.
Nothing.
7. Not success levels, I rolled a 7. So, some?
Less than passed, but not by any success.
3 degrees. 3 success levels, sorry.
So failed over here.
Failed.
The dwarves passed. You see the glint of gold pass between the sergeant and the barman.
I'm assuming barman to the sergeant.
Yes.
Well, they're in their pockets.
Who, the guards?
Aye, they're paying them off.
Dishonorable. I see. We take the tavern.
Well, don't need to worry about the bloody patrons. They're just going to be scum. It's the people out the back or upstairs that I think we've got interest in.
They're watching the play. They're keeping an eye on the bar. There's at least 3 or 4.
Which side is the river?
Manlings?
Yeah.
Behind.
Not really a challenge then, but alright.
So
So you're
kind of
over
where
here.
I was going?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the guy.
Okay.
If he doesn't need me specifically yet, then that's fine.
Okay. You find him. They chucked him over the side, looking like he was going to go into the river, but he's kind of fallen, bashed onto
Mud
a small,
and
like a embankment of mud kind of thing. So absolutely caked in mud, but he's lying there like drunken bliss, but blood down the side of his face, just like asleep in the mud.
That's fine.
Yeah,
problem.
until high tide.
I'll wake him up.
He's like, and sort of, fuck off. Why'd you hit me? What's going on? He's like, starts crawling out of the mud and like slips over and...
Yeah, it's not my problem.
Okay. He's awake now, though, and he's not about to sort of drown under the river as it
Yeah,
rises.
that's fine. I have done what I needed to.
Okay.
Right.
These Altdorfers give you guys a fun, they walk past and they're like seriously giving you like
Oh, fucking.
I'm gonna just flare out and get forward to be a bit more obvious that I am a licensed wizard of the Empire.
Yeah. And the sergeant comes, all right, boys.
Yeah, Bagrik will just stare at him.
Yeah, no.
In that kind of look of,
and then
do you want
the
to try?
sergeant's like, this just would be mess.
not worth
It would be a big mess. But, they're proper soldiers as well, so they're not like little piss ants. They give you a
but
proper rub.
Imperial soldiers are nothing. They're peasants.
Yeah. A knight is worth 100.
A knight is worth 100 peasants.
Let's not provoke them again.
Isn't that the problem with Bretonia?
What
A knight is worth 100 peasants.
Yeah, that's true.
A million.
Talking to
There's nothing wrong with Bretonia. Shut up, voices in my head.
Maybe he's actually just saying it in Bretonian and no one else. That's what he's saying except for
Like, oh my god, he's mad.
Yeah, just think that's like strange.
So they move on. And you've seen these patrols moving around. There are lots of, as I said, there's a whole army of like literally an army is now camped in the city.
Monsieur Applebaum,
Thousands.
what
Thousands
are
of
the
troops.
chances we'll be arrested for killing everyone in that tavern? Are they high?
It sounds rather unlawful. Let's not forget, our young Master Dwarf was in the tavern not a second ago. There could be other people in the tavern who are spying and not deserving of your wrath.
Well, no, that's true. So maybe
You see a very dizzy looking young lad come stumbling out of the tavern. He's got various bruises and stuff, like he's just been sort of in a rumble on the floor. And you recognise his hand looks like someone stepped on it really badly. And he's sort of walking out going, oh. And he kind of stumbles out and he looks around and he's like, what the fuck is it? There's like blood from wounds and things, and there's people crawling away. And he's like, oh, and he just starts to walk away down the street.
perhaps you should wait until they close and then go in.
Does a place like this ever close?
Probably not. Maybe in the morning.
But then there'll be more
Maybe.
people around.
Well, there's no use in us just kicking down that door if they can just run out the back.
So what we're saying is someone needs to go around the back. I don't know. This is obviously a wretched place. I think...
Depends how much noise you want to make.
Probably a little bit too much for the moment.
Well, I don't see any other options unless people have suggestions.
Torvald, did you see anyone else in there with the tattoo of the place on them?
So people who have been trying to kill
You
us.
didn't get a chance to really get close enough to
No.
anyone.
I didn't notice anything, but from what you said, it wouldn't be obvious.
They have been trying to kill us, monsieur.
Several days now.
Several days.
And currently we're stood outside talking about
Yeah, you are like standing in
Well,
under a street lamp.
We are
like-
slightly round the corner.
No,
we were not standing literally outside.
But even
Although
so,
Bagrik would be happy
paces
just
away,
to
like,
step
"We
in
gonna
and
go
be like,
smash this place up?"
"You're looking for me, you bastards."
not yet, but maybe soon.
Is there
Are any of
anything
the-
else along
They did know
here particularly
that
noticeable?
I was associated with you,
further
although that
across?
could have simply
Are you
been
moving
someone
down
watching
the
outside.
docks?
Yeah, just kind of like I've stopped and watched the soldiers kind of square up to these
Oh,
guys
yes, yeah.
and then change their mind. But yeah, just what else is?
There's people moving about. There's boats moored up. There's people unloading them. Some people loading things. There's a lot of warehouses along here, and you can see a few other buildings. But this side of the bridge, it's not as busy as the other side as far as like where the guilds are based and other things.
Perhaps we should go in and simply wait for them to start something, then we have an excuse. Because
Something tells me that won't take very long.
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I like that plan.
Actually,
We
further
go
up.
in, we get a drink, we have a little bit of a drink, and see what happens.
What was the beer like?
Hang on, guys. Further up. Sorry,
River water.
Morgan.
I was thinking of something worse.
There is another big tavern called the Red Moon Inn that you see. It's a 2-story, large tavern that seems to be a bit more clean. Should we say that? And there seem to be people moving in and out. It has a large drinking hall. You can see in through the big open doors. And it seems like lots of rooms upstairs. There's a way in through stables. There's like a courtyard area, sort of standard tavern. There's a big sign above it which says slightly orky overtones, but it's called the Red Moon Inn. There's a sign that looks a bit like that.
It is a bit orky.
A little bit.
So I'll probably drop a low whistle in an attempt to get the attention of one of these guys.
Perception.
And just point.
I did it.
Oh, yeah. 12. Yeah.
Okay. No. What's going on?
This one was staring at the door.
I'll just look at Morgan.
Yeah.
And you just get a...
Stomp over. Not a subtle creature, Bagrik.
So you guys were...
loitering.
We're just on this side.
Yeah, you're around here. It's like further down this side here. This looks more like your kind of establishment. If you were to get off the boat, this would be the one you'd go in rather than the Crooked Hammer. It seems like a nice tavern
Is that where you are?
for boat people.
Ish. Yeah.
I'm just stomping over to Morgan.
Okay, you can see this. It's the most remarkable building in this stretch. There's warehouses and things, and then this big tavern. There's a couple of barges moored up on the jetty bits in front of it.
Seen something interesting.
Probably better to get information.
Is this to see? There's no fighting going on in here. There's no shouting and screaming. There seems to be some music playing, and there is people moving about and having drinks and food. It's lively, but it's not aggressive.
In Casalid, it'll be better than the goblin piss in the other place.
He'll just grumble and Bagrik will shrug.
Unless you'd rather stand outside and plan how to attack the place that you're standing.
Do like the sound of beer.
Are you talking to us?
If you've arrived.
Yes.
The plan was to just go in there.
Yeah, I don't see why it's a plan.
I'm fine with that plan.
I just wasn't sure
They
if
might be
any of them
a bit
were.
more hesitant to go for you if we murder them all.
Well, yeah. Let's go in and... Well, I don't know why I went Yorkshire then. Let's come back.
It's gone Dwarven. It
Let
rubs
us
off.
go in
The infectious dwarven
and
accent.
see what happens. We are going in for the quiet drink. And we see what occurs.
Okay.
They'll probably respect our authority and just succumb to us.
Neither of those things will occur.
We.
If you want to try the other place, I'll come with you. It's probably best if I don't go back in company that's already been mentioned.
Also, they were interested to prevent anyone going around the back of the building.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Thought you might think so.
Where's the nearest way to the back of the building?
But also, I didn't want to tell him that while we were out front of it, because he
there
would
is
just
another
dive
alleyway
down
that
there.
you'd have to access from another road. It's not far.
Oh, I'm going to stomp that way. If you're not waiting, just pump, pump.
Okay, so you're going off. Are you going with him?
Yeah.
Are you going with him?
Nothing's going to stop him, so I better follow him.
Okay, so those three are like going off to the back of the tavern.
Monsieur, would you like a drink?
We could probably cause a disruption in the front.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so you guys walk in.
just open the door. Bonjour.
I'm going to go first.
It's like the morning light.
You're going to cast Dazzle.
Sir
and go-
Gale, my Bretonian friends, I bring you the finest bar in Ubersreik.
Merci. I see this is a fine imperial establishment. Barkeep, your finest Bretonian wine.
Shouting across the bar.
As you're doing this,
I will take the seat closest to the door to block any escape.
as you're doing this loud entrance, there's a few people dotted around who are like, what the actual fuck? Like looking around. One guy's just like. The people fighting, like brawling, they seem to be brawling. They're like mid, like like slightly, like just like slowly punching, like, and yes, you completely your armor and your white robe completely changed the lighting in the room, literally, and the barman like drops the tankard he's polishing and says, "Oh, yes." My finest wine.
As this is occurring, Bagrik's already stomped off.
Yes.
But I will just kind of say to Torvald, they're braver than they look.
I will, as I sit down on the table and unhinge the giant two-handed bastard sword, the metre-and-a-half bastard sword, and plonk it on the table, and just sit there. We're closest table to the door, so
Sure,
they
yeah.
cannot escape.
Yeah. Someone in the corner of the room who's clearly sitting there on his own without a drink, looking at you, gets up
Both of us.
and walks through one of the doors at the back of the room.
I think that is our man.
And the barman comes over and he's carrying a tray which looks like it hasn't had a wipe, with two odd glasses, like goblets, sorry, not glasses. And he kind of puts it down on the table and he says, "That'll be 4 shillings for. We have some fine wine from Paravon that we get in every now and then. Yes, here we go."
Do we have any money?
Yeah, you've got some 4 shillings.
Drinks
Make an intuition roll. Make an intelligence roll.
Roll a fucking 6.
Okay.
52.
So 3 degrees.
No. Oh wait, yes. Pass. Oh wait, those are equal success, so it's level 0. So
That's fine. So
Yeah.
you've passed.
yeah.
And 3 degrees for me.
You are wondering how this shithole has the clientele to require Bretonian fine wine, and you're wondering why he's charging you 2 silvers a cup.
Yeah.
You're going to pay him the
Do
money?
I suspect that it's not actually a fine wine and he's lying to me? Well, that's what that was.
The beer is watered down here.
Mm.
He's already told you that the beer is piss.
With
so
river water,
So
probably.
water.
You're round, I believe.
Whether we want to kick this off straight away.
Drink first.
I'm getting
Just pull the sword out.
Appetites the
I'm getting a hint of Maria.
Monsieur,
Hello, John.
we are planning to spend the rest of the night here. We'd like to open the tab,
Oh, of course.
and I'll charm him. Oh, not as successfully as I'd like, unfortunately. -1.
Of course. We have a deposit on a tab of 5 shillings to open a tab, and then you can drink all you want, and if it doesn't hit that, then we'll give you your money back.
Do we want to pay 5 shillings?
Well, he's charging you 4 for the wine.
I mean, look, if you're going to beat him up, you steal it later.
I'll put my hand on the sword and say, "We will pay the tab after I have tested the wine," and then intimidate because I can roll back on that.
Okay, go for it. Oh, I get an opposed on that one.
4. Oh, that was a 1 before it fell over. 4 degrees of success.
2 for me, so you win by 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so he doesn't look away from your face. He keeps eye contact, but you see something change.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Fine."
Mm-hmm.
And he walks away. And I say
No,
to you,
he's standing there. He's
Yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for you to try the wine.
I'm going to sniff the wine. Does it smell like...
It smells shit. It doesn't smell of shit. It just smells like some really dodgy dwarven wine.
Wait, what? It's not a
Exactly.
thing.
I know,
That's how bad it
exactly.
is.
Exactly. That's how bad it is. If dwarfs made wine,
It would be the best wine a man had ever
it
tasted.
would be brandy.
Exactly.
It smells bad.
Yeah. I will
It smells
It's
corked
vinegar.
for one.
It's vinegar.
I will pretend to drink it, but not actually drink it. Bring it up and
Yeah.
do that. And,
Yeah. It
and
doesn't taste very nice.
Well,
it's
I,
not
don't,
worth
I try not to put any of it in my mouth.
Sure.
Because it might be poison. And I'll put it down and go, "It is cooked." The wine is cooked, monsieur.
Well, I'm afraid that's the only bottle I've got, so it's that or nothing, really.
What is the best imperial drink you can think of?
You got ale if you want an ale.
How much is it ale?
A shilling each.
Is that what you said?
That is taking a piss.
Yeah, that's like
you know straight. It should be like pennies. I mean,
Yeah. I did.
You wanted to pay for information.
I will slide 2 shillings across and go, we will take the ale, and if that is up to our standards, we shall open the tab.
Very well. It's kind of, as he walks off, he looks at one of the other guys who's sitting there at a table, just staring at you.
We're doing our job.
Yeah.
Is the
The
plate?
guys who were fighting, have they got back to fighting yet?
No.
Just about.
Okay.
Just about. Yeah, one of them's taken advantage and like slipped his head out of a headlock.
There's an easy way to get them back to fighting, and you throw one of those shillings under them.
Yeah. Okay, so as that's all going on and people in the front of the tavern are being distracted, you guys make your way round to the back of this tavern.
I will direct as much as I can Bagrik not to go the way that I went, so
Sure.
that because we know that there's already people there.
And as you approach, you can hear that there are actually people eating in some kind of courtyard area out the back. You assume this is where all those homeless people were going to have, and you can hear people talking to them, and basically trying to get them to talking to them about working for them, and if they wanted to do jobs for them. They are feeding the needy and the poor, but
As a bribe.
not well, you know.
They're
it's a
sounding out
bit of
who
this,
that
bit of
might
that.
be useful.
Yeah, kind of thing. But there is also a back entrance to the tavern itself. There's a large door. There's a barrel outside it, and there's a window. You know, there's no kind of guard or anything, but you know that there are what look like thugs effectively inside this tavern. You don't think you were quite close to this door when you were inside the tavern.
Okay. So that corridor
Is
Didn't lead
There's
to this
further-
exit.
yeah, maybe off the back of the kitchen. Maybe you're not sure.
Yeah, can we stop and listen at the door?
Okay. Make perception rolls at -10. Have you got your helmet on?
No. And I... No.
Oh, yeah, the helmet gives -20%.
If you're wearing it, yeah. Well, I'm not wearing it.
Luckily you weren't, because you had to take it off to go through the door.
the helmet.
Yeah.
past 2 success levels.
Okay. You can tell that there is no one in the room beyond the doorway. But you can hear the kitchen in the distance and people moving around inside the building. Just like you hear a door close and then open, that kind of thing.
There's no one on the other side, but there's plenty of movement around. We're not far from the kitchens here, but it doesn't look... I don't think we're where I saw while I was in there.
Well, they're using this place as a recruitment ground for thieves.
Oh, yeah. Of course, brother. That's exactly what they were looking to get me to do. They were just a bit... well, unfriendlier and friendlier.
Where did the other two manlings go? We'll say, turning around, noticing the bright white one and the brightly coloured.
They're causing, I believe, what they described as a distraction, brother. As in, they walked straight in the front door.
Well, see if the back door's open. I'll see if I can open it. I'm not trying to force my way in, I'm just trying to see if it's...
It's locked.
Can I look through the window?
You're
It's
too
kind
small.
It's fine, there's a barrel.
box?
Yeah.
Just jumping.
It's a bit grubby, the window, and you kind of look in through the gaps in the shutters. It seems to be some sort of storeroom, and there's a stairway down into a cellar. You assume there's a stairway down. And then you can see another door, which is slightly open, and through there you can see kitchen stuff going on. Big central table, chopping, veg hanging, or duck hanging on the wall, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, looking at the lock, does it just look like a standard lock?
Yeah, it's fairly bog standard lock. It may be bolted on the other side, you're not sure.
How much noise is going on at the moment?
Not enough to cover the sound of Bagrik bursting through a door.
You can usually tell if a door's bolted by pushing against the edge of it. So if it's only held in by the lock plate, you can tell if it moves or not at the top or the bottom. I mean,
how she knows.
Done a lot of
from playing my rogue character, yes. I know this.
Also,
you want to check it. It looks like it's bolted on the other side, or like a bar maybe.
Okay.
A wooden.
Can we tell how many people are trying to recruit these hobos?
Without getting closer and seeing, you can't tell because there's a lot of noise. There's probably about 20, 30 people, hobos, and as you put it, and you're not sure, maybe 4 or 5 other voices sort of in that area. But they're in like a little courtyard area that you need to go around the other side to get into.
Is there like a cellar door anywhere?
Not that you can see.
Okay, perhaps we should move around a bit further.
What is the plan here?
Well, see what we can see, firstly. Or hear.
And then?
Shrug.
Okay.
I've realised that this is basically the first time that I've actually been in, arguably, civilization with these guys. Because prior it was road, like tiny village farm, and then bad guy castle. So, there hasn't really been.
You had a couple of days in Nuln.
Yeah, but that was, we're trying to find our friend. We can't find him. Oh, he's buggered off. Oh, we're going to go and find it. And that was more kind of... So now it's like, we're in a tavern, we're in a town, and we're going to, like, break into stuff and start fights. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
You're finding out the true Bagrik.
Hey, Bagrik's trying to find stuff out.
Okay, so back to the front of the tavern, where Sir Gale and Corvin are providing a distraction. And
Good one.
He brings over a couple of ales and puts them down in front of you. And he looks at you like, so is this acceptable?
I don't know. You're in charge of imperial drinks.
I'm gonna take my drink.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna shelter it in 2 hands. And I'm gonna very subtly cast my petty spell, Purify Water, to turn the beer into a lovely, refreshing glass of water.
Actually drinkable.
A subtle spell?
And then drink it and declare it delicious.
You do know that a lot of your spells, like...
Are they really obvious?
Yeah. You're a light wizard, so a lot of them are like...
Super
One
anyway.
But you could, like, sing to your cup, and if you get 2 success levels over your casting number, I'll let you get away with it.
Okay.
If you don't,
Bing!
then...
And then you can make a big thing about being at the Holy Grail. Because he's got a goblet.
How's the Holy
He's got a
Grail
goblet and
work?
it's glowing!
Holy tankard, same thing, right?
Not how's the Holy
Go for it.
Grail.
Yeah.
Come on.
What's the casting number?
0.
Oh! Double 0!
Oh, yeah, you know those fortune points you've got.
casting
No, do
spell.
it, it'll be fun.
Miscast.
Oh, I don't know where the miscast table
Summon a
is.
demon!
I'll get it.
You want to
Well, now we'll get distraction.
I have it. I have a marker on it.
Oh,
You've got it.
into water.
Demon, you.
Can you accidentally summon demons?
You can re-roll it if you want to. Yes, you can.
I don't know whether it's worth it.
Feels like that would provide some of a
It
distraction.
was only a little
It
spell, right?
certainly would.
It's just a little spell.
Jesus. That minor miscast table is awful. Right, so that was...
Is it really bad?
That's
No!
a critical, so that was fumbled casting, so it's minor miscast, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
You
God.
gonna roll on it?
Yeah. let's see what happens.
Comedy failures.
Hang on.
Oh, God.
Just want to make sure.
Don't turn me into a demon, Prince.
You should make the most of this.
Go
So,
on.
yeah.
I can't attack them until they attack me.
Just run through the door.
And out.
I want to find the miscast table because this sounds hilarious.
Critical casting, yeah, minor miscast.
I mean, there's some
yeah.
fun ones.
Okay, there are some fun ones. There's some really
there's
bad
some really
ones.
nasty ones.
Okay, good
Where-
job Bagrik's not around right now.
Where is it? I want to stick it.
It's on page 234. Okay, you gonna roll?
Into petty,
Okay.
Do petty magic.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Oh, God. Yeah.
What is it?
79.
79.
Oh, that can't be good. Big numbers are bad.
Horror.
The horror! There's a sudden, as you do it, there's a sudden flash in the liquid of the face of a strange creature looking up at you. And you smell around you sulphur, which is the scent of Dar, the dark magic. Pass a -20 cool test or gain 1 broken condition.
Come on, you can do
He
it.
just shits
I
himself.
really wish you'd rolled the 6 to 10.
Come on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What was it, -20?
Yeah.
Within
no.
1d100 yards, he's
You get
automatically
40
soured.
point it to reroll it.
Oh my god, the first one is hard.
Oh, I'm broken. But broken
Yeah.
is
The
not...
next living creature born within 1 mile is mutated.
So you gain the broken condition.
Oh, yeah, I only just
Wait, we don't
failed.
know if we want to reroll
On the
it.
plus side,
The
that
odds of
probably
it are
wouldn't be a
pretty
human.
low, like...
Sorry?
On the plus
Is
side,
it
it probably
worth
wouldn't
it
be a
just in
human.
case?
Well, it says
Can you re-roll on the
on your
miscast
turn,
table?
you move. Your move and action must be used to run away as fast as possible until you're in a good hiding place beyond the sight of any enemy. Then you can use your action on a
Sounds
skill
great.
that allows
Let's
you
do
to hide
that.
more effectively.
That's fine.
You also receive
Is this beer any good?
penalty.
I'm not going to re-roll.
Okay, so you turn. You say you are the expert on imperial drinks, and you look down and go. Drop it!
Away. And I just leg out the bar.
You leg out of the bar and you jump in the river.
That one
There'll be a corner you can hide in before the river. So you get
barrel.
Yeah, you jump in an empty
Jump in an
barrel.
empty barrel.
Okay, you jump in the everyone in the bar's like, what the fuck is going on? And
Oh, man.
the guy looks at you like, seems your friend can't hold his beer.
Literally.
Or it seems that someone poisoned it.
What are you saying?
Intimidate.
Intimidate.
20.
Hang on.
So 2 degrees.
Opposed. Oh. No, I failed.
2 degrees disgust.
He steps back.
Oh, damn
There's no poison in any of my food or drinks. It's all fine here. Your friend's just some, I don't know, freak.
What did you say?
You have just given me the reason to start this fight.
You have
Said
said.
he's a freak. And 3 guys in the room stand up.
And then I stand up. You have insulted my friend's honor.
I think you should leave. He says, holding his finger up like this. I think you should leave. Back round the back. You guys have made your way around the side of the
We hear
building.
a shout.
And you found a cellar doorway. Obviously for loading barrels straight into the cellar. And you can hear going on down beneath the thing. And you know this sound.
Yeah.
This is someone tied up being punched. This is what was going to happen to you.
Well, we can't have that, can we? Smash the lock.
Oh, I thought you were going to like cannonball!
No, because steps and bouncing and owl.
Seriously? Bagrik? Right, you...
Even Bagrik takes
Yeah.
falling damage.
No, true.
And I may have some experience of how that hurts
Yes.
from the last season.
That's true. Right, so you gonna smash...
I'm just going to smash through, yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to make you roll for that, because it's just a flimsy cellar door. It's not very well maintained. And you smash through it with your axe, and it's kind of clatters. And you hear suddenly a stillness from below. There's like a...
Followed by clang, 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 as he runs
Are you
down
going to run
the
down the
stairs.
stairs? Okay, you run down the steps.
Slipping the helmet on.
Okay. You run down the stairs, pulling your helmet on. Slightly less.
Oh, no, I know how to do it. You know.
Sure.
Something he's had a bit of
Duckling
practice
into the
in.
thing as well.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
So you make your way down the stairs, put your helmet on, and you run into this cellar. And in this room, there are barrels dotted around, all over the place. Some neatly stacked, some not, some broken. And tied to a chair is a man. And two large men with no shirts are giving him a bit of a pasting.
Oi! You better knock that off, manlings. I'm just going to stomp. I'm going to stomp towards them.
You're fully armoured, aren't you?
Yeah, fully armoured, holding a shield with some
well, they
nice
were kind of
claw
standing
marks down
there,
it.
like ready to start again if it was nothing. And they see you, and they're like, "What are you two doing? Are you going down the stairs, or are you just letting Bagrik go down on his own?"
No, I'll follow.
Okay,
Yep.
so the priest of Moor, dressed all in black, black chainmail, black hat, black cloak, comes
Following
down the stairs behind the dwarven tank.
Can I try and knock one of them out?
Well, before you get to them,
Okay.
they run away. And they run towards a set of stairs and start running off. And they are faster than you, so they will be able to run away from you.
I do hear dwarves are natural sprinters.
We're very, very lethal over short distance.
Yes. And they start running up the stairs.
Alright.
Meanwhile,
So, Gale, you are standing there. This guy's got his finger in your face, which
and
is
there's
really
three
annoying
other
you.
people.
3 other people, and you can hear now footsteps of people running up a staircase. Just somewhere beyond.
So I know something like so I say to him, before this begins, I have to tell you, my name is Sir Gael de Bordelou. I have trained with a sword since I was 6 years old. I am a knight to the realm of Bretonia, have slain greenskins, dark elves, and other monsters you can barely even imagine. Yes, there is 3 of you, and only 1 of me, so it'll take the luck of your god to bring me down. So the real question is, do you feel lucky? Well, do you?
Yeah, of course he's saying, we're always lucky. Can't believe you did fucking dirty. Okay. So, as you do this,
As I'm saying my speech.
as you're saying this, the 3 other guys are like coming closer.
Yeah.
And from behind their chairs, they're pulling up some big, tasty-looking clubs. They're wearing leather and they've got clubs and stuff. You're in their place. They're going to try and just mug you. The door to one side bursts open, and 2 big guys, with no shirts on, come running up the stairs, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And they run like straight out the door. They're trying to get past you. They're running.
Oh, let them go.
Yeah, they're running. They just run out the
I
door.
say to the barman, oh, I forgot to mention I'm not alone.
Okay. You're going up the stairs?
I'll just kind of say, assuming someone's following me, because I probably have no idea at this point, sort that fella out, and I'm just going to stomp up the stairs.
Okay, Torvald, I assume you're going to go up to the... whoever it is.
I'm actually, I haven't gone down. I've stayed. I'm
Okay.
watching the alley just in case suddenly everyone exits again.
Okay.
And to keep an eye on the fact that this has happened. Someone might have heard it round the sides and come to investigate.
Sure.
No, I'm the master of subtlety.
Absolutely. Like
So,
a cannonball.
I've seen Morgan go down. I trust him to keep an eye on Bagrik. And if I hear him, if it all goes horribly wrong, I'll hear.
Cool.
I'll check the guy.
Okay. He looks like he's been a bit beaten up.
Mm-hmm.
He is wearing... He looks like his boots are very dirty. He has various bits of kit on him, rope, stuff, like sort of lying on the floor. And he's got a gag on, and they've just been giving him a bit of a beating, no questioning, it seems. And he sort of looks up at you with like a bit hurt and a bit of a bruised eye. And he's like, oh.
That's what everyone wants when they're getting
Big
a
knife.
beating, a priest of the
Gag.
dead.
Oh, thank you.
Hands.
Thank you. They've been beating me for information for the last few hours. It's not going to get him anywhere, though. What's happening? Where the hell did that dwarf come from?
I'm currently more interested in where he went. If you're fine here, you can wait or you can leave. We have business upstairs.
I'll wait. Corbin, make a...
I'm holding my barrel.
Well done.
You're
I just see two guys come running out.
I'll hand him a water skin
That
and
means
then
you were
follow
right
back
that
round.
way.
So, we shall end tonight's session as Sir Gale draws the blade from the scabbard, I assume.
From the table.
From
It
the
was on the
table.
table.
Yeah, he's like, shing, and as he does that, the figure of armoured Bagrik comes out through the doorway, and these four men, who thought they were in their own realm and in charge of it, suddenly start to have a slightly different feeling that maybe things are about
Maybe
to
the carpet's
turn.
just been pulled from under them.
Yes. The guys fighting in the middle of the room have stopped. And they're all watching you. And we'll leave it there. Cool.
Welcome
Okay.
to Flint and Steel.
Yay.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much for watching the first episode of Season 3 of Flint and Steel. That was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys. Good to get back into it and to explore the wonderful world of Warhammer once again with all its horrible,
Wonderful.
nasty. Yes, wonderful. Yes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to go and check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Check out our Discord as well. We've got a special Flint and Steel channel for our patrons where we share little secrets about the show with them.
And
Like the names of our characters before our first episode.
And lots of cool new stuff on the Redbubble. Lots
Indeed.
of Flint and
Lots
Steel
of Flint and
stuff.
Steel stuff.
There's going to be some more of
Sam's
that
been
too.
busy.
So,
Yeah, keep your eyes
Yeah,
open.
we've got new mugs. We've got a t-shirt. We've got a poster. There's all kinds of stuff. So
And
go
more stuff
check-
coming.
Yes, indeed. So check that out. We're going to get some of the mugs for the studio so that we can show them off
Oh,
over the next couple of episodes. People can see what they look like. They're really good. Well done, Sam. Also, please check out our Patreon. Everyone who helps us makes it a bit better for everybody else. We also support Diabetes UK through that. We give away free adventures, maps, RPGs. We've given away Grimdark, my role-playing game, which we're going to play in a few weeks' time. And there's loads of cool stuff on there. And if you are a patron, then you get a little bit extra stuff.
And you're awesome.
And you are awesome. And we love you. Also, please check out the Thornless Rose, the Old World podcast, and Bjørn Felle, our own musical maestro Mark, who's done some cool live performances at the Goat, which unfortunately I haven't been able to go
Pub
to.
in
'cause-
St
'cause
Albans,
they
for
were on
those of you not
Thursday
familiar.
nights. That's where we do our role-playing club as well. Not that I've been in like a while. But anyway. Was there anything else? Don't forget to check out our other shows. We've got On the Edge of the Emperor's Light, which Lawrence runs, which is Dark Heresy. We've just finished Star Trek Morpheus, our Star Trek show, funnily enough. We also have Vostok's Chance, which is our Scion show. And we're going to start very soon a Star Wars Edge of the Empire series called Fractured Empire, which I'm running as well, which is going to be cool. So yes, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Flint and Steel. Bye-bye.
Bye.